Well, talking about hanging on to stuff, that seems to ring a bell with lots of people. And I think I have finally reached the point where I'm going to let go of 2 quilts and a quilt top made by my grandmother. I don't want them, but I can't get rid of them. They're very traditional, sort of semi-9 patch. One that's completed, she made for me. I guess I was a child, I was never allowed ever to use it. It's pink and white. It's not my style. I don't really want it on my bed. I could cherish it because it was made by my grandmother. But those are thoughts I'm trying to wean myself of. So I showed them, when I first met Joe Cunningham, I showed them to him. They're not that special, really. I mean, let's get real here. They're not that rare even. Just go on eBay. There's a zillion quilts made by people's grandmothers out there for sale for what? $50 or something. There was the idea that I could cut it up or fix it to make a garment out of it, or put the bits of it into a kawandi or whatever, but I'm not into it. So at some point I'll take some pictures of them and maybe find somebody who wants them. Now, you may have noticed, like on here, I've got these yellow pins marking. Well, you wouldn't know they're marking. Wonder what are all those little yellow pinheads doing? When I first met Joe Cunningham, I showed him my grandmother's quilts. The first thing he looked for was pencil marks. That's always he says, the first thing he looks for, because he's the champion of freehand quilting, and he thinks it should be true freehand. No pencil marks left, right? You never used pencil marks. I wouldn't be caught dead with a pencil mark on a quilt of mine, no way. I just stick the pins in and pull them out as I go and follow the dots. The charm of freehand quilting is that it doesn't look perfect. That's the great thing about the kawandi and the G's bend quilts and all those. They're not about perfection. Even on this quilt, the corners had to match. The straight lines had to be straight in order for the corners to match. So it's a different way. And then the needles, of course. The needles on the threads. My hand's finally getting used to this dinky little thing. Because on the kawandi, the needle's about this long and big and hefty, and it takes a lot of muscle to get it through maybe 8, 9 layers of cloth, plus a little batting. But this, you have to tighten the hand so much. It's so squeezed.